So we've talked a bit about journals. We've talked a bit about journals and why they're important. They are the place where we can get specialised knowledge. They are coming out sometimes 4 times a year. They are the places where we can begin to do the paper trail. These are really important places to get our knowledge. If you see any academic paper, you will see that the vast majority of citations are from journal articles. But that is not the only thing that's important, and today we're going to be talking a bit about books, about the different types of books, and about the different functions that these different types of books play in this game that we call scholarship, this sport that we call scholarship, this sport which requires us to learn a range of different skills. When we practice individual skills, we will find that our general enjoyment of the game and the quality, the level at which we are able to play will improve. And so I hope you enjoy this next installment of the Research Skills webinar series. Okay, let's talk about books. We've talked about journals, now it's time for us to talk about books. Beautiful, beautiful books. It's a shame they're so expensive. But there's nothing like going into a room, well, for me anyway, there's nothing like going into a room with books on the shelves. I remember as an undergraduate enjoying the opportunity of perusing through my professor's bookshelves, and of spending time in the library, camping out in the parts of the library where the books that of interest to me were shelved. There are 3 basic types of books, and they're all important, but for very different reasons. The first type of book is a monograph. Now, a monograph is another word for a sole-authored book. Many of these sole-authored books, and they're usually these days around 200 pages long. Many of these are based on a PhD thesis, or they are the final output for a research project that has had a number of journal articles produced. So you sit down and you get money to do research, you sit down and do research, you do conference papers, you produce journal articles, and you have 2 or 3 journal articles, and then you will bring them all together into a monograph. Monographs are the places where often, and different disciplines have different traditions about monographs. Anthropology still has the tradition of an ethnographic monograph where you make your contribution, and instead of someone having to go and find all of your various articles about your area of interest and specialisation, it's all in one place. So that's a monograph. Edited volumes are also important. They perform a number of functions. Now, these are contributions by a number of scholars, including the editor of this contribution, this volume, that writes an introduction, and sometimes a senior scholar is asked to write a conclusion or a reflection. Many edited volumes come out of conference panels. We're going to be talking about conferences and why conferences are important, and why it's important for anyone who wants to take their academic formation seriously to learn the skills of how to get involved in conferences. But conference panels often have an output which includes a special issue of a journal, and sometimes these special issues of journals are republished as edited volumes, so as to make them more accessible to the general interested public. In addition to monographs and edited volumes, there are reference works. Now I'm going to make a few comments about the uses and the misuses of websites like Wikipedia, and I do just need to say that Wikipedia is a great place to go and to find names and dates, but really you can't cite Wikipedia in a thesis, in a monograph, in an article. What you do need to do is you need to have a citable reference work, or a range of citable reference works that you can cite in your publications. In recent years, we've seen a lot of major publishers putting together handbooks, contributions, 300 to 500 pages long, with a particular issue such as language policy or language loss or cultural geography or post-colonial studies, the handbook of Southeast Asian identities, and senior scholars bring together a team of contributors who analyse this particular area. They're often a great way for you to learn the various theoretical developments. Those are handbooks. Next, I wanted to recommend encyclopedias and dictionaries. They're basically the same. A Dictionary of Islam, Dictionary of Buddhism, Dictionary of Post-Colonial Studies, Dictionary of Discourse Analysis. This is a great place for you to go and to remind yourself about what specific terms mean that you encounter when you are reading your articles and when you're reading your monographs. When you're doing your reading, you need to have a reference work or a range of reference works at your fingertips, and I'm going to be talking about the importance of having things at your fingertips later. But these need to be sources that are citable. These need to be dictionaries and encyclopedias other than Wikipedia that you can cite in your bibliography. And after this short video, we're going to I'm going to show you some examples of the various types of books that we've talked about, the monographs, the edited volumes, and these dictionaries, encyclopedias, and Okay, so this is the first time that I have shown you my filing system, and this is going to be an aspect of this Research Skills seminar that I'm going to be returning to on a number of occasions. I'll put out a few things now, and I'm going to have to repeat a few things a bit later on. You'll see that I have, again, if you are not familiar with Mac, this is what the Mac filing system, the filer looks like, and you will see that I have chosen books in a folder called Academic Library, and I have chosen those with these tags. So I've chosen a few of the reference books that I find to be very useful in my work. So if I want to, some of you will be linguists, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put another one here. I'm going to put language, so reference books to do with the language. Here are some handbooks, the Cambridge Handbook of Endangered Languages. Let me choose another view, which will be easier for you to see. So you'll see that I have downloaded a range of reference books that are at my fingertips. So if I need to look up a specific term, if I'm reading through a journal article or a book and I come across a term and I don't know where it comes. We've just had a look at some of the reference work, so I'm sorry for the abrupt end to my little discourse about that wonderful dictionary, International Encyclopedia of Social Sciences. So again, you'll see that I've chosen some examples of edited volumes, and these are wonderful places. This is by a friend of mine, Religion and Politics of Development. Thematically organised, but written by a number of people, often coming out of research projects, often coming out of conference panels. Again, if you have a particular interest, what you should get into the habit of doing is going and finding the most recent work and working back. So this work here is 2015. You'll see here, Applied Anthropology, Unexpected Spaces, Topics and Methods. The Hajj, Global Interactions Through Pilgrimage. This is again 2005.